Jean Luen Yang's American-born Chinese graphic novel embarks on a prominent visual journey idealizing the concept of both the negative physical and mental challenges caused by heritage and change. This conveys to the readers that transformations can further establish and harshly develop one's flourishing self-esteem and relationships through the connecting storylines of Jin, Danny, as well as the Monkey King, uniting to depict a visual metaphor in which summarizes each character's authenticity. Although each character's changes are differentiated through the physical appearance as well as the personality, each main protagonist is faced with an overwhelming struggle based on self-identification, expressed through similar characterizations in the storyline. When introduced to the Monkey King's storyline, the author identifies him through his confident, almost egotistical attitude towards entering the dinner party, as shown through the following panels, stating to his subjects, "I must take leave of you tonight, for there is an important party I must attend." He discovers as he attempts to attend, he is thereby declined due to his neglect of proper footwear, presenting him as uncivilized and irrelevant through the eyes of the guard. This sparked anger as he proceeds to attack the guests. This panel contains a red building, which in turn could represent and emphasize his anger towards the issue. His power effectively can be shown through the monkey being placed higher than the rest of the dinner party guests, which also creates an emphasis on his ego. Similarly, Jin is faced through discrimination as he enters a new school, idealized to be a typical Chinese-speaking student. He is highly discriminated, his teacher unknowingly pronouncing his name as Jin Jiang rather than Jin Wang. He also states he and his family moved from China, a dumbfounded assumption due to him having lived in San Francisco. The storyline through the high school of Danny is portrayed through a typical hormonal teenager's love story with American girl Amelia. As the storyline shifts, Danny develops a change in behavior due to his cousin Chinky, who will soon attend school with him, foreshadowing his feeling of public humiliation. The name Chinky is a racial slur used in order to discriminate people of Chinese heritage, which establishes the purpose of the relationship in Danny's life. Through Danny's behavior, readers can assume this change in atmosphere will further develop and change Danny as a character. After analyzing the beginnings of the stories overall, it can ultimately be delineated that each of the characters feels an insecurity based on their heritage or relationships due to embarrassment through the visual aspects in the panels, developing an essentially recurring motif through the storyline. Author utilizes changes in the character's physical appearance as well as the change in the panel structure in order to convey the effect this discrimination can accumulate through each of the characters. Protagonist Monkey King changes, feeling as though he is not good enough. This reinforces disciplines, in which allow him to acquire aspects such as strength and changes in his bodily form, allowing him to change his size. It is evident this allows him to feel more superior in regards to his subjects, as when he exits, he uses these new skills to embark on a journey to allow himself to be seen as more than just a monkey, through his confident convincing of his developed tricks. Jin's storyline always had a slight foreshadowing for Jin's changing appearance through the usage of this transformer doll, in which had the ability to effectively change his form. Jin develops a liking for a blonde American girl in one of his classes, feeling as though he must go through a physical change in his appearance in order to please this girl. He changes his hair in order to appear similar to her love interest. Jin would soon come to realize this change in appearance was for nothing, beginning to affect other relationships, like with his best friend, Wai Chan. Danny's storyline increasingly changes in structure and his personality as a whole. Danny attempts to distance himself from Chinky, feeling embarrassed to be related to him due to his cultural appearance as well as a unique personality, although heavily stereotyped from the American perspective of the Chinese, pronouncing the letter L as R, as well as through his brightness in class. The structural changes slowly increases in the change of narrative through the characteristics of an American sitcom in which was utilized in order to effectively depict the ideology of laughter, taunting Chinky's culture. In the end, all storylines merge, where Danny decides to confront him about his embarrassment towards the character, allowing Monkey King to unmask his identity as Chinky, furthermore morphing Danny into the character of Jin. This metaphorical visual and emotional effect allowed him to realize that although he altered his psychological state as well as his physical features, everyone is unique and forces themselves to create a naive and foreshadowed idea of self-acceptance overall, ending in each character reinforcing and being proud of their true identity. In the end, all three individual narratives presented throughout the merging storylines created by Jean Luen Yang's visual effects create reasoning behind self-acceptance and identification through their ashamed belief in their cultural backgrounds. Through this contrast in storylines, readers are made to believe that self-acceptance was the overall moral and was the point and journey of the story.